It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Friday's here. The weekend is upon us. Let's roll. Here is your top 5 at 6. How about this gig coming up? Just announced. The Australian Pink Floyd show, Wish You Were Here, is going to be celebrating their 50th anniversary. Not
Wow.
Pink Floyd's 50th. The Australian Pink Floyd show's 50th anniversary, and they're on tour. They're playing the Mystic Showroom at the Mystic Lake Casino Friday, May 16th. Text the keyword cigar to 651-989-ROCK right now for a chance to get on the KQ guest list. Australian Pink Floyd show. What could be better than a bunch of weird accents doing Pink Floyd music, right?
Have a cigar, you'll go far. I feel like it should have an Australian feel to it, you know, some, I don't know, didgeridoos up there and just a lot of more attitude.
Koala
you know, Pink
on
Floid.
stage.
Yeah, something, you know. Pink Floyd, rather sedate on stage, I would say. Band members themselves, not a lot of leaping around. But the Australian, I feel like they should bring some Blue Man Group to it or something. I don't know. Aren't they Australian? I don't know.
New York, but close enough. And so, you know what? And
The Australia of the United States.
That's exactly right. So there'll be some meat pasties, those little meat pies they sell at all the Australian gas stations, and a bunch of venomous snakes. So go have fun. I'll watch
Just
the
set 'em
live
loose.
stream. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Boy, the story of the week for sure is the assassination of Brian Thompson in New York City, the CEO of United Healthcare. The latest information about the shooter, who is still unidentified and still unapprehended. But boy, there's some clear pictures of him that everybody spent the day checking out yesterday. Police now believe he traveled to New York from Atlanta by bus sometime in late November, 10, 12 days before this shooting. Greyhound apparently says they're cooperating with the investigation. He was in the city living in a hostel up on the Upper West Side. He checked in with a New Jersey driver's license that was definitely not his. They've at least determined that much. This is a plan, boy. This guy had this thing cooking. Probably, I don't know. I'm just imagining if you go to the city for 10 days, you're doing a whole lot of, walking through it, leaving nothing to chance. And as, of course, if you, like me, made the mistake of clicking on the video and seeing this incident, you know that this guy was very calmly going through his paces as if, he was plugging in headphones and turning on a microphone.
Yeah. They're going to get this guy. There's just too much out there on him already, and law enforcement is just too efficient, especially when you get it at a national manhunt level like this. They'll track him down. Did we hear any more about, or did you hear any more? I was reading yesterday that he may have dropped a phone and a water bottle accidentally on his escape. I mean, if they got a water bottle of his and a phone that he dropped, and it's not a burner phone he discarded, I mean, it's a matter of hours maybe until they get this guy.
My first thought, of course, was because this guy also left behind bullets with words engraved on them. The phone was probably a burner and probably had a message in there, too, he wanted to leave behind. But then again, now I'm turning him into, Jason Bourne or something.
Right.
For all we know, he's just some, douchebag from an Emory University frat who lost a bet. I mean, it's going to be some, whatever the situation is, it's pretty brutal. And with the pictures they have now, there's no doubt people know who this guy is.
Oh, yeah.
It's incomprehensible that someone out there isn't going, I cannot believe Gary did that. And we're going to find out who he is, like you said, sooner than later. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. Co-workers at office Christmas parties.
What have you heard?
Or just walking sticks of dynamite. A new survey has found that more than half of us say we've made out with a coworker at a Christmas party. More than half. 40% of us have knocked the nickels out of a coworker at a Christmas party. Full on getting it done. Most common place, parking lot. Second most common place, the conference room. Don't do it in the conference room. And I'll tell you why. Because you can never have another meeting in that room for the rest of your career where you're focused on work. You'll be replaying. It'll be like it's like me with the 1982 NCAA championship. Jordan comes down to the left, ball swings around. I can replay that whole last 2 minutes of that game. Imagine me knocking the nickels out of somebody on the conference table. Forget it. I'm never hearing another word the boss says.
Hell, I don't know about this building. The old building over there on Lilac Drive had a conference room in the back, and I know I wasn't the only one sitting there on Monday morning meetings going, "Don't touch the table." You people don't. If you drop something on the floor, don't even bother picking it up. I'm not even talking about food, a pen, anything. It's
wow.
As far as the parking lot at a holiday park, I always thought holiday parties were just a trap to get you into some sort of awkward position. Everyone comes unglued at those things, and you might find yourself in the parking lot or in a bowling alley bathroom.
Yeah.
So basically, the suits are always looking for leverage, and they figure a big punch bowl full of hooch is a good way to get some.
I guess so. It humbles us. We all kind of crawl into the new year going, "Oh, hope nobody knows about that."
Most likely to hook up with a coworker, the IT department.
Wow, really?
I'm just delivering the message. Okay, all I'm saying is you guys in IT, take it easy. All right, back off.
Christina, Bill, I can see it. Yeah.
Holden, if you need a favor from somebody, that's probably a good way to get it.
Well, yeah, IT.
Wow.
I mean, they rule the world, right?
Yeah.
Between IT and HR, and you're not going to get in. Don't even try with HR.
All I know is there is word on the street is there's a holiday party. Let's see. Tonight, boy.
There is, and I will be completely unsupervised.
We will. Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
my Jesus.
So-
Look out. What is that Loverboy song? Oh, no. It was Saga on the Loose. Comes to mind.
There it is. And fresh off a big Lions win. Look out for Ryder.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Man, boy, I tell you what. Ball game, great game to kick off the weekend of football. Congratulations, Ryder, and your Detroit Lions. With number 2 on your top 5 and 6. According to another new survey, the average American spends a lot of money every year just buying crap to cheer themselves up when they're in a bad mood. We apparently are very emotional shoppers. When things aren't going our way, we spend, on average, about $1,600 a year to try to level the mood off. That's $140 a month, $32 a week. I'll just come right out and say it. I don't do this. The last thing I would think about when you hear about people say, "I need some retail therapy." No, I'm usually like, well, then I'm just going to be worse off because I'm like, well, now I got this. I just spent $100 on this nonsense. That just puts me in a worse mood. Most of the time, if I'm in a bad mood, it's because I'm like, I need more money.
All right,
I'm going to spend it.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into your thought process there. What if you count booze?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I don't
Moving on.
Only 1,600?
Yeah. Sorry, Ryder. You were saying?
No, I was like, if you're gonna count beer and THC drinks and stuff like that, I definitely do the retail therapy. Otherwise, not so much.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the THC drinks, we need a wholesale connection. Man, those things are expensive. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, moving on.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Please. Well, Rosemary, the other day, she goes, well, we might as well just buy weed at this point. I'm like, yeah. All right. Hey, check this out. Becker, Minnesota. You're on our minds this morning. Good to have you listening. Good morning to our friends up in Becker.
I've only been up there once to the Pebble Creek golf course, but I will often tell people when I want to sound like a big shot, I'll say, "Oh yeah, I've golfed Pebble."
Sure.
Pebble, no problem. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have.
shot an 88 up at Pebble, over at Pebble. Yeah, Pebble Creek golf course up there. It's a beautiful golf course.
That works.
It is.
That's
beautiful.
That's a plan for the spring. We're hitting Becker. We're hitting Pebble Becker. Let's do it. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. Big day right in our backyard yesterday. Dinkytown had the pleasure of Timothée Chalamet's presence walking around campus. Timothée Chalamet, the young actor who's extraordinarily successful and very popular, especially with the ladies. He is playing Bob Dylan in the new film that is just about to come out, A Complete Unknown. Chalamet was walking around campus yesterday. They had a screening of the film at the Main Street Cinema over there, a Ray Guy punt away from my front door. No one told me about it. I really would have liked to have been there, but no, I was, as I said before, drinking beer and watching football. But anyway, but Timothée Chalamet was on the scene. A bit of a mob, actually, both in Dinkytown and then at the theater. Like I said, this is an incredibly popular actor, and man, the people were flocking. He happened to spoil the secret screening by going to Instagram and posting things like "Go Gophers" and pictures of him at the stadium, and yeah, that's how that works.
Oh, had him whipped up into a frenzy. This is what it sounds like every morning when Steve Gorman walks into the radio station here in Dinkytown.
Timothée Chalamet came to town like a rolling stone. It was mania in Minneapolis.
Timothy!
Crowds lining up outside of the main theater before his surprise private screening of his new Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown.
How are you doing?
But before people saw the film, he sat down with a room of reporters.
And I mean it sincerely. I loved it here, and I love Minnesota, and I find the people to be really generous and nice and generous of spirit.
I saw that you quoted saying crying, screaming, pooping after you saw Bob Dylan's tweet. Did you get to spend any time with him before the film? And what does his tweet and approval mean to you?
I really couldn't put it into words. That's the closest I can get to expressing how that felt. That other part you were describing was a typo.
Pooping, I guess.
In case you're wondering, Timothy, there's no Y in Timothy. It's Timothy, Thee. So, I
spelled it wrong.
I feel the need to mention that for some reason. But the students at the U and the wife in my house love Timothée Chalamet for what it's worth. He is a great actor. He's good. And I'm looking forward to this movie. I think it's going to be great. There is your top 5 at 6. Quick question. Can you run faster than a polar bear? Or no, sorry. Better question. Can you run faster than your wife? Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Friday, December the 6th. Minding one's own business. You know, every now and again, you round a corner, you open a door, you find yourself face to face with the last thing you were thinking could possibly happen. Maybe not the last thing you were thinking could possibly happen, but still very surprising. In the Fort Severn First Nation up in northern Ontario, a man and his wife stepped out of their house, walking to their car, I should say, and in their driveway, there was one of those Canadian black squirrels. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't a black squirrel. It was a polar bear.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah, right there on your driveway, right there near your car that you're trying to get to, a polar bear. And what did the polar bear do? It lunged right towards the woman of this couple. So,
polar bear must be married.
Dude had a quick decision to make. I mean, in an instant, like blink, like that Malcolm Gladwell thing. What do you do? He jumped. He passed the test. Jumped on the polar bear's back to defend it against to defend his wife against the attack. A polar bear. That's probably as big as the guy's car. These are very large animals.
Yeah.
Polar bears not known to be all warm and cuddly when you get up close to them.
No, not like in those Coca-Cola commercials. I just thought if you carried a Coca-Cola with you, that would... Nope. All right.
She went to the ground. He went to the back of the bear, riding around on it. The bear got on top of him. There were serious injuries to his arms and legs. Thankfully, a neighbor heard the struggle, runs over with a gun and shoots the bear several times. The bear then ran off into the woods where it was found later to have died from its injuries. The word from the hospital is he will survive his injuries. And really, the thing is this. You have a snap decision to make. And I'm curious, how many people turn and start to run as they're going, babe, come on. And how many people just jump on that bear? Well done, brother. I'm glad to know you're going to make it through. Man,
boy. Yeah, he doesn't ever have to buy another present again for her for the rest of his life. He can forget everything. He can do everything short of, just cheating on her. He's got hero status for life. This reminds me of a story a few years ago. There was a husband who punched a great white shark who was attacking his wife in Australia, of course.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but So she's on a surfboard, grabs her by the leg. He swims over and just starts wailing on the shark till the shark lets go. And I'm like, with a great white. Yeah, here's a little audio from that.
You're not thinking punch it. I don't think punch anytime soon. Your body reacts to saying get off. And so you start punching and
Yeah, and then he goes on to talk about it a little bit. That's not what my body would say. My body would say, poop myself, and hope for the best, honey. I'll be there for your recovery.
Yeah, I'm looking for the next wave. Let's get back to shore quick. We're all in this together till the great white shows up. Yeah, you're not kidding about this guy earning his. He made his bones. He will walk in after every day of work for the rest of his life. Doesn't even have to say a word. Those shoes are being taken off his feet. The socks are being rolled down. The foot rub commences. I imagine a candle will be lit at some point. It's going to be pretty good to be him moving forward. All right, it's time to look back. On this day in 1979, for the second time in 3 weeks, Daryl Dawkins of the Philadelphia 76ers broke a backboard on a dunk. This time, however, it was at a home game, so his Philadelphia home fans got to enjoy the 1 hour and 12-minute delay in the game while they replaced the hoop. After the game, Daryl Dawkins with yet another one of the great quotes of all time. It was the power, the chocolate thunder. I could feel it surging through my body, fighting to get out. I had no control over it.
Oh, I had a classmate somehow got his hands on a chocolate thunder, and he had that lightning bolt, remember? Because he had the big chain that he would wear.
Yeah.
And one of my friends got a knockoff one of those in Minneapolis.
Man.
Showed up in South Dakota. He was walking tall around Woolsey High.
Yeah, he was. Boy, can you imagine in 2024 if a guy came out and said, it was the chocolate thunder. I could feel it surging through my body, fighting to get out. Where are the Daryl Dawkins of the modern era? I guess Ant-Man's as close as we got to somebody who just says what he thinks and doesn't think twice about it. I guess I should appreciate what little bit of personality our pro athletes still have. On this day in 1988, Vinny Testaverde scored a last second, 20 seconds left in the game, last-minute touchdown against the Seattle Seahawks, despite the fact that he never got anywhere near the damn end zone. It was one of those calls where the refs just put their arms up, said touchdown, and then the replays very clearly showed at least a yard short. That play contributed as much as anything, if not more than any other single play in NFL history, to instant replay becoming an actual officiating tool. So thanks for wasting all of our time with that one, Vinny Testaverde. I've always been mad at him. I never knew why. Now I get it.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Billy Squier, Lonely is the Night. When they used to say, all he does is rip off Led Zeppelin, I used to go, yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, I like the way Led Zeppelin sounds and rocks. I mean, I know this. Whoever was producing those Billy Idol, those Billy Squier records, they knew how Jimmy Page liked to mic a room. I'll just leave it at that. Good God, the thing sounds amazing. Hey, first things first, want to give a little morning high five, a city shout out to Inver Grove Heights. Good morning, Inver Grove Heights. We're happy to have you with us today.
I don't know. What is that bar I used to go to over there all the time?
I just moved my mom to Inver Grove Heights, and there's the Boulevard over there, maybe? Is that it? Boulevard Tavern?
Oh, no. I just remember Jersey's. I used to go to Jersey's and watch bands all the time and just sit there and try and look, I don't know, mysterious at the bar by myself back in the corner in the dark, hoping someone might approach. No one ever did.
Damn it. Well, try. You know what? The weekend is upon us. Try again. Maybe round 2 or 2000 is going to be the winner.
Like, Jersey's, here I come.
Right on. If you are of a certain age, like, I don't know, my age or close to it, I'm sure when I simply say, what about that Oscar Mayer baloney song? You remember that? The commercial from the 70s, the little kid sitting there with his fishing pole on the dock, and he just starts to sing the Oscar Mayer song, the baloney song. Oscar Mayer is celebrating the 50th anniversary of that jingle with a contest. You can go to a website, upload yourself singing that song you can't have the words in front of you. You got to know it by heart. And they're giving away prizes. Let's see what they're giving away. Up to $50 of free bologna with a bunch of groceries. They're choosing 1,000 winners. So, I mean, chances are if you upload, you might get picked. 1,000 people will get $50 worth of groceries, Oscar Mayer groceries, I should say. You just got to sing the song. I'm assuming we all know this song, correct?
Absolutely.
Ryder?
Yeah.
Oh, you know this one?
The
All
only
right.
reason I know how to spell baloney is because of this song.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I guess the coach, Gorman, was my Pee Wee baseball coach, Coach Gorman. And he, as a team building thing, on the way to our games in the bus, would have us singing the Oscar Mayer jingle. So I'll never forget it.
BOLOGNA.
Yeah.
They could have done a song for Braunschweiger. That would have helped me out.
Yeah.
Man, that was always a bridge too far for me. But I hadn't seen that commercial in so long, and now looking at it again, I forgot it was a young Al Franken sitting on that dock holding a fishing pole.
I know. And who knew?
Soon-to-be future disgraced former senator. Go figure.
Huh.
I was kind of curious. Andy Lambros, the child actor who did that one, now an artist, graphic designer, computer programmer, business consultant, and promoter. In other words, he's still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, you're looking at this resume. It's like, what else have you got for it? I'll do anything. What do you got? What do you got?
If you're that guy, if you are that kid, I mean, do you ever bring it up? Because people aren't going to recognize him at this age, I'm sure. But I mean, how many drinks at the company Christmas party are you in before you go, hey, man, you remember that Oscar Mayer commercial when we were kids? Yeah. Do I look familiar now? And people are like, what are you talking about, dude? No, you don't look anything like that guy. Do you bring it up or do you just keep it under your hat?
I only have one example to draw from, and that would be the Honeycomb Kid. We all know the Honeycomb Kid, right? That blondie kid with that goofy 70s hat, the bucket hat turned up, and the buck teeth. That's my buddy Dave, right here in Minneapolis, from Minnesota. That was shot here in Minnesota. And we used to pull that out. We had it framed. The Honeycomb Kid box framed when we figured it out, when we found out from his sister, and we would pull it out at parties, and he hated it, which means he really loved it.
Oh, he absolutely loved it. Did you guys have a honeycomb hideout? Did you get you ever heard that whole?
Yeah.
Come to the honeycomb hideout. Yeah, man, that was awesome.
Remember, he had the ruler on the front. It was 1 inch wide, cereal that was 1 inch wide.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah,
Dave, Ozzy, buddy. Good morning if you're listening.
What a selling point. This cereal's 1 inch wide.
Honeycomb
Tastes
Kid.
like cardboard, but don't worry, there's a lot of it in every bite.
Oh, yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it wasn't number one in the family, but, if it was on the table, if it was in the cupboard, it got consumed, that's for sure.
As far as the whole thing about music sticks in your craw forever, I mean, again, that commercial's 50 years old. Yeah. They haven't aired that, at least the original version, since sometime in the 70s. And the second it starts, the kid, before he says the first word, he goes, there's that little, second I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm 9 years old again. Barry Manilow writing jingles, like 60-second long McDonald's jingles where you tell a whole story like an opera. And then the Meow Mix guy just goes, lyrics? No, just meow, 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 meow. I know. Just the melody's all you need, dude. It's for cats. Come on now. I'm sure most people are aware of the fact that Barry Manilow is one of the most successful jingle writers of all time. Not just McDonald's You Deserve a Break Today, which is as good as it gets. And they used to run 60-second versions of that one where there's more to that song than you remember initially. But if you find it, you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot it's like a dance number where the manager and the employee have brooms and they're mopping and they're cleaning the burger grill. And then, bam, you deserve a break today. But he also wrote, I am stuck on Band-Aid because Band-Aid's stuck on me. Barry Manilow. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Barry Manilow wrote that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He wrote The Finger-Licking Good Day. He wrote, Give Your Face Something to Smile About from Stridex. Ridiculous, man. Barry Manilow was like, before he was Barry Manilow, he was already just printing money from this stuff.
All right, I don't know from personal experience, but I may have been married to someone who was a Barry Manilow nut, and she would go to all the Barry Manilow shows when he would come to town, and he would do a whole, right there in the middle of his show, a whole medley of his jingles. It's kind of a, the Stuck-on Band-Aid and all that stuff Steve's talking about. They're all over YouTube. I was looking some of them up. I couldn't find the original jingles, but there he is, Barry Manilow. It looks like almost recently, and when I say recently, maybe 10 years ago, still doing his jingle medley right there in the middle of his shows, and people, of course, love it. They go nuts for it. I think I would have.
Also, Barry Manilow, get a bucket of chicken. He wrote that. I mean, I don't care about Mandy and Time in New England and all that crap. This guy was writing the songs of my childhood for real.
Wrote the songs that made the young girls cry. Wrote the songs that made us all buy.
Yeah, that's exactly
what I'm saying.
Yeah. What a heater he was on. That was like Greg Maddux in the 92 season with the Cubs. Good Lord almighty. Couple things I want to mention. You know what's going on today from 3 to 5? You can hang out with KQ's Chris Nelson at Fleet Farm in Brooklyn Park. He's going to be there. Bring the family along for pictures with Santa, and you'll have a chance to win prizes from 92 KQRS. Chris Nelson, Fleet Farm, Brooklyn Park today from 3 to 5. They perfectly fine time. And, of course, the photos with Santa. Worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, don't sit on Chris's lap.
No.
I mean, I'm just saying he's lonely. He's a good guy. No, we love Chris. I mean, Chris is the best of us.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, he's going to go hang out with kids. I mean, come on. The guy's a saint on earth. Hey, also, real quick, how about Andover? Good morning, Andover. Let's give a little love to Andover.
Andover Family Fun Fest. So I went up there like 15 years ago. This is when I was still in pretty good shape. And they had like an obstacle course up there, and some 10-year-old girl beat me up the climbing wall. I mean, just smoked me. But then I took her on, and they had an inflatable slide. Kicked her ass. Had gravity working for me. Yeah.
Hell yeah, you did.
Yeah, I rubbed it in her face. I pushed her down in the grass. No, that was a good time up there in Andover.
Good morning, Andover.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
That was Journey with Lights, a very catchy song. It's not quite, it's not Oscar Mayer baloney catchy, but it's pretty damn close. I'll give him credit for that. Oscar Mayer is celebrating 50 years of the Oscar Mayer baloney has a first name jingle. And if you go to a website, the Oscar Mayer website, you can upload yourself singing it. They're going to be handing out $50 of Oscar Mayer groceries to 1,000 winners. So if you want to sing that song, make it kind of creative. There's people sitting in like hair salons having their hair done. There's people out running. There's people riding bikes. It's a lot of fun. But the jingle, of course, stuck in all of our heads for 50 years now. No one that has ever heard that song once has to go, wait, I don't remember how it goes. I mean, the minute you hear it, it's boom. You're right back in 1974. And so on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK, if there's a jingle, if there's an old TV commercial you can never get out of your head, remind us. We're all suffering through these together. But Lucy from Minnetonka texted in, and she went one step further.
Yeah?
She didn't just mention the Oscar Mayer song. She provided her own version that she said she made up when she was back in high school. And I'll just read it to you if you
All right.
My baloney has a first name. It's Peter. My baloney has a second name. It's Eater.
Oh, wow. Lucy.
I love to eat it every day, because if you ask me why, I'll say, because Peter Eaters make the best of ORALSEX.
Lucy! Baby! Juicy Lucy.
We got to get Lucy an OnlyFans account.
Oh, my Lord. Man. I'm subscribing to it. She's got
Lucy
me.
was, hang on, I'm reading this now. She was homecoming queen. She was voted most likely to succeed. She was Miss Minnetonka. She was literally the most popular woman in the state of Minnesota for a while there.
Oh.
It's fantastic. So the jingles, we already heard the Kawasaki jingle. There's the McDonald's Eaters Over Break today. These old, jingle songs from the 70s and 80s. I mean, these were brilliant earworms. And then they're brilliant until they're not. And then they're just nightmares. You can't get them out of your head if they're doing their job correctly. That's where science comes in, because now now that you've got the Oscar Mayer song running a freight train through your head again, it's December 6th. You're going to hear that damn Mariah Carey song pretty soon. You're going to hear Paul McCartney Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas pretty soon. You're going to hear all the songs you can't wait to not hear again for 11 months. There's a new track, an audio track called the Earworm Eraser. You can go to YouTube, Earworm Eraser. It's only 40 seconds, but this is all you need to get a song unstuck from your head. Intentionally, a mishmash. It's just completely frustrating. Changing tempos, time signatures, musical styles. It will not only confuse you as you listen, but it will cleanse the palate of a freight train running through your brain in the shape of a jingle or that Mariah Carey song. It sounds a little bit like this.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
We are frozen. I think I've got 25 YouTube pages open, all with Juicy Fruit and Big Red jingles, and I'm sitting there trying to listen to it in queue as you're bringing it up.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, that's too bad.
This happens to broadcasters my age.
Gonna have to think about that Lucy version of the Oscar Mayer song all day.
I think that's what it was. I'm looking at your face, Brian. I'm looking at your face, and I'm like, he's pretty excited. I thought the Earworm Eraser was what was making you so happy, but no, it was back to Lucy, wasn't it?
It was back to Lucy's got me flustered. She's got me. All right, man. It's Christmas. I can't find it anywhere.
Ryder, your dad tried to make it even worse on the text line. I saw Jim wrote it, and he said, "No, you think commercials are bad? Check out TV theme songs." We're not doing that, Jim. Sorry, not about. No, it's already bad enough right now. And we're seeing now that we're getting tons. Another Barry Manilow. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
God, yes.
Yeah, be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I tried like 5 times to like Dr. Pepper just because of that commercial. I wanted to be a pepper, but I'm not a pepper.
No. Sure you did.
Nah, it's just not my flavor.
And then the pepper guy turned up in an American Werewolf in London.
Hell yeah, he did.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what a career. You're in the coolest movie ever, and you get free Dr. Pepper for life.
Slam dunk.
Pretty great. Remember the band Slaughter?
Oh, yeah.
Early 90s, Slaughter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hair band. They played I met those guys once, and they had just come back. I think they were actually from Las Vegas, and they played a gig in a parking lot of a Taco Bell in Las Vegas. The grand opening of, at the time, I believe it was the biggest Taco Bell in America. And what the guy told me and then showed me, what they got to play that gig was like the corporate, they got these like IDs, Taco Bell for life cards.
No way.
They could just go to any Taco Bell and show that card, and their order was free for life. God. And I in 1990, when I saw that, I mean, that was like me. That's me looking in the briefcase in the diner in a Pulp Fiction. That's Indiana Jones looking at the Ark of the Covenant. I was like, free Taco Bell for life.
Yeah,
I've never been more. I kid you not. I've never been more envious of anybody in my entire life.
Instead of the gold glow on your face, it would be the Taco Bell purple kind of glow on your face.
Exactly.
Yeah, as you open the briefcase. Oh.
And then, my skin breaks out, both figuratively and literally after more Taco Bell consumption.
Oh.
Man, some really good ones. Of course, Coca-Cola. Yeah, I'd like to teach the world to sing.
Oh, yeah.
Huge, man. Huge. Also an Oasis song. Did you know that on the Oasis first album, what is it? Is it Cigarettes and Alcohol? One of those songs is the exact same melody. And I mean, Noel Gallagher, when got the lawsuit, said, yeah, cut the check. That's where I took it from. Just like, no two ways about it. It was like, I saw, the first time I ever saw Oasis, they were playing that song, and I was like, is that the Coca-Cola song? What's he singing? It's the exact same thing. If you're gonna take from the best, and Coca-Cola, they knew a jingle when they heard one.
Yeah.
Oh man, the jingles! I love them.
They're coming in fast and furious. We can't keep up with all these.
No. Oh yeah. Burger King, have it your way. Man, what about that? How about a time when TV commercials had the best songwriters in the world, and Saturday mornings were for wrestling and roller derby? What happened to us?
I don't know. We lost it somewhere along the way. The internet, I guess, took it away from us or something.
Must have the damned internet. Hey, I'm trying to correct me. Have we mentioned that AC/DC AC's playing in April in Minneapolis. Did we mention that this week?
AC
You don't
freaking
say.
DC.
That's right. AC freaking DC, Ryder.
Yes.
April 10th at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Hopefully, if you've been with us, you already feel like the weekend is up and running and heading in the right direction. I mean, I know a lot of us still got to work today, but I mean, we're almost out of here. So the weekend's almost beginning for us. Hey, man, we're feeling pretty good. We're enjoying ourselves. I'm listening to Tom Petty going, yeah, I've been waiting all week to feel this good. All right, let's get to it. Here's a wild one for you. And listen, not presenting this with any judgment to our follically challenged friends out there, but a lot of people, a lot of men with hair loss. I'm happy to say I don't understand it because I have a full head of hair, and I'm not being a jerk. I'm saying it's got to be tough to see you losing hair. Thankfully, there are products, there are medications that someone can take to stop that, to bring hair back to your head, like say minoxidil. That's one you've probably heard of. You see commercials all the time.
Yeah.
And I think, minoxidil, I wonder what that's for. Well, now I know it's for hair loss. But there's a bit of a problem in Spain right now. 11 confirmed cases of infants born with what they call hypertrichosis, or it's more commonly known as werewolf syndrome.
Oh.
Werewolf syndrome. Here's what happens. Infants are developing very tufty hair across their back, their legs, and yes, their face. If their parents have been ingesting topical 5% minoxidil.
I might want to
the babies are absorbing it either topically or orally. Like you're putting minoxidil on your head, somehow it's getting in your skin, and then you're touching your infant child, and it takes just obviously a tiny amount of minoxidil to kick in the hair regeneration for an infant who's otherwise not really needing a lot more body hair.
No.
11 confirmed cases.
Yeah, I'm looking at a little. Well, we all remember that cinematic masterpiece with Michael J. Fox, Teen Wolf. This is Toddler Wolf. This little thing. I mean, look at it. I mean, wow, that is. All right, that's. I'm just going to use. I'm going to be insensitive here because it's happening in Spain. This is freak show Harry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tough one. You really, I mean, and I get it. Like I said, hey man, you don't want to be bald, you don't want to have thin hair. I get that. But now, if there was ever a reason to just think to yourself, maybe a hairpiece, maybe a toupee.
Yeah.
Dude, they got to be if they've developed drugs that can grow hair again, they've developed wigs that looked realistic. That's all I'm thinking.
Bald is beautiful. Do some arm curls, you'll look badass. You got some biceps and a bald head. Chicks dig that. You know what they don't dig is having a little baby with furry cheeks. This kid, you could comb his back. You could comb. Yeah. There's a part down the middle of his back.
There is. When you're discussing body hair and the word tuft is involved, you got a problem. That is not supposed to be, especially on a child. Boy, this is tough. This is a tough one right here. I'm curious if there's other medications you could take that would then have bizarre, unexpected side effects. Probably best not to even go down that avenue of thinking. But these poor kids. Now, granted, once they've discovered this is not a permanent condition. This hair that shows up all over these kids, and now I am looking at a link of a very, it looks like this. Well, he's kind of got an Eddie Munster look going. Actually, they got the right haircut to go with this young man's beard. What they're saying is, once the topical, the what do you call it? Once the medicine is removed from the parents, once it's out of the household, the hair does go away. So that is good.
Oh, okay.
I remember when Marley was born, there was a little concern that one of her ears, the hearing wasn't as fine-tuned as it should be.
Oh,
and
okay.
it was just like for, a few weeks there, did a couple tests, and it turned out she was fine. There was just something about her left ear.
Yeah.
And I remember just really thinking about, oh my God, man, what if she has to go through life and her left ear isn't as good as her right ear? And I was thinking this as a man whose left ear had been shot for years at the time, but I was very concerned for her. And then I found out it was okay, and I thought, oh man, that's good. I can't begin to imagine if my beautiful baby daughter suddenly had facial hair, like a lot, and
Right.
a back part. That would be a very stressful thing.
So I could get a comb over going. Yeah, no, that wouldn't be cool at all. Although I had a little hearing loss, and mine was in my right ear. It was a kid, when you would go into they would pull the van up in front of school, and you'd go out there, they'd put the headphones on you, and then the beep, 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 and you're all good to go, except I had a lady just staring at me, and she goes, you know what, we're going to call your mom. I'm like, that can't be good. But I really worked it over the years. Can't hear you, Mom. Bad ear. Sorry. Right here, the old bad ear. I suppose if you're worried about your kid's posture, I'm thinking about my mom. I always sit up straight, Brian. I'm a sloucher. She always wanted me to be more up, sit up straight kind of thing. You could take some Viagra, I suppose, while you're producing the child.
Oh, man.
No? That was a reach. That was a reach.
It's possible. It's
That was
possible.
a reach, yeah.
In 2017, there was also a breakout of werewolf syndrome in Spain. 17 children developed werewolf syndrome after minoxidil had accidentally been mixed with an acid reflux medication. Can you imagine that? Like, oh, man, I've got heartburn. And then you take some medicine, and you go, man, that's amazing. That really helped. And you wake up the next day, and you've got a hairy back. That would be tough. That would be tough.
I think I'd rather have a little indigestion.
I'm fairly hairless. Like, I don't have body hair. Even my legs are barely that. So, yeah, I would notice right away. But when I was a kid, I used to think, and this is, of course, a child of the 70s would imagine, there's nothing more manly than a hairy chest. I just thought, man, that's that's where it's all about. You're looking at TV and you see Burt Reynolds, and what's he got?
Tom
right there?
Selleck, and they're all just, just hair. They're apes, all of them. That was the look, yeah.
Look at my dad and my brothers, and I'd be like, oh, this sucks. I'm never going to have that. I'm probably never even going to be able to grow a mustache, man. This is ridiculous. And to this day, I still can't grow a beard. I mean, I can, and it looks okay from like 100 feet away. But up close, nah.
I saw some interviews with you when you were writing your book. You went on a book tour. You had the beard going, but you also had those kind of tinted glasses. It looked very... what's the word? Studious. That's not the word I'm looking for. Very smart. I don't know.
If I were wearing glasses while doing an interview, I was very hungover, probably. That's what that was. That's what
trying to hide the bloodshot. Yeah, I get it. Been there.
By the way, there's a dude up in Canada who's feeling like a bit of a hangover right now. He's expected to fully recover from some injuries he sustained, protecting his wife from an attacker, which is like, hey, dude, nice job. Way to do your job, which is to protect your wife. They stepped out of their house, and there in the driveway was a guy. A polar bear. A polar bear in his driveway early Tuesday morning. The bear lunged at his wife. She went down to the ground, and dude leapt onto the animal's back. Not too many people can look at you and say, I have ridden the back of a polar bear. But this gentleman,
I have got big balls.
Yes, the biggest. This gentleman in northern Ontario has done just that. He survived the attack. Thankfully, a neighbor heard the scrum, if you will. I can only imagine what it sounds like for an enraged polar bear and two completely hysterical human beings. That noise they're making all together during this fight must have been something. A neighbor came over with a gun and took care of the bear, thankfully, and thankfully didn't shoot his neighbor.
Right?
Who was fighting a bear. That part's pretty impressive as well. This is just one of those stories you think to yourself, like, I don't think any of us would do any different, because you don't have time to think, you just act. But I'm sure at some point he's thinking to himself, I guess if I'd had a few seconds to think, I still would have done this. Sure. Yes. Yeah. Because, the old joke, you don't have to be able to outrun a bear. You just got to be able to outrun the person next to you. And, says a lot for the state of their marriage that he went ahead and committed to the fight.
I find it hard to believe that anyone living up in northern Ontario, up there by the Arctic Circle, didn't have a gun. You know what I'm saying? That's wilderness area up there. Mm-hmm. I'm sure when the neighbor came over and shot it, he went, oh, why didn't I think of that? The gun, right? The gun is better than trying to, rodeo ride this bear. But you're right. It was in the moment, grabs the wife. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the gun. Now, where were those bullets at? I'm going to need a bigger round. And so, no, that's a big hero move. We did the story, what was it, in the fall, September, bear season over in Wisconsin, black bear season. The 12-year-old kid shot the bear off dad. And that was a big move. Just when you mentioned that, I'm lucky he didn't get shot when the neighbor shot the bear. But yeah, imagine that, your kid shooting a bear off. I mean, you'd be, nice shot, son. That's a big move.
Yeah.
Stepped out behind the shed in the backyard a few years back with my daughter, and we cornered we had no idea, and not intentionally recognized we had cornered a possum. And I stepped in front of my daughter, like, hey, hang on, get here. And I stared that little bastard down, and the possum eventually made his way. So I kind of know what this guy feels like.
Yeah.
Is my point.
You've gone face to face with a possum. I mean, it's. That's I was attacked by a wild animal once, and my dad was there with my uncles, my brother, my mom. They just all sat there and laughed.
What was the wild animal?
That was a robin, a bird. I was trying to get up in the nest, and it started flogging me. It started hitting me in the head, and everybody thought it was funny. Not one person jumped on that robin's back.
My brother Doug and I had the same. We were walking to school as kids, and a blue jay came at us, and was
those blue jays.
Man, he was going for it. I mean, we were at first. It was like, "Okay, get that bird," and then with 10 seconds in, we're both running and screaming for our lives.
Yeah, blue jays, they have an attitude. Yeah, they do out in South Dakota. Even those blue jays, they're big birds, and they've got a bad disposition. Pissed off about something.
Well, yeah, man. Look at them. I mean, they're so handsome, and when we talk, they don't have a song to sing. They're not the national emblem. They're just the blue jay. They just got nothing.
Yeah, no cardinal.
No. Oh God, no. Not even close. And with a cardinal, there's always. As a kid, I always loved when somebody said, anytime you see a cardinal, they always have a tracker. A tufted titmouse is always following cardinals around. Did you know that? If you see a cardinal, there's going to be a tufted titmouse nearby. It's like, it's true. And like cardinals are like, for whatever reason, they just hang out. They have a little buddy that's near, look within 20, 30 yards away. You'll see a tufted titmouse. Or as we called them as kids, did you see that titmouse?
Yeah.
That was all it took. And then we were just having a great laugh. Look for the cardinal, and you'd be like, well, hang on, there may be one, maybe even a pair of tits around. Always exciting when you'd see a cardinal, knowing that the joke was right there, right on the tail end of it. So between polar bears and werewolves, I think we've handled our wildlife section of the day. Sorry, Spanish children who look like werewolves. I'm not calling you a werewolf. I'm just saying you look like one, okay? All due respect.
Yeah.
Hey, Sammy Hagar's Best of All Worlds Tour stays in Vegas, the Residency. That's what it's called. Best of All Worlds Tour stays in Vegas, the Residency. It's kicking off April 30th at Dolby Live in Park MGM, Las Vegas. You could be on your way to see it. Score a trip for two, including round-trip air, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, dinner, and tickets to the show. Text the national keyword SPRING to 95819 for a chance to win. It's time for the top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
The weekend is upon us. I'm in a good mood. I don't know about the rest of yous out there, but hey, you know what? We got a great NFL weekend. Kirk Cousins is coming back to Minnesota to catch up and, see some old friends and hopefully just have his ass handed to him by that defense. Yeah. Let's get to 11-2, shall we? Ryder, I know you're still just bouncing off the walls after the Lions' big win last night. Congratulations.
More nervous than ever. We got to go take on the Bills. I mean, dudes, I'm not enjoying the Lions
that's what
being good.
That's what they call a good old-fashioned Super Bowl preview, perhaps.
We'll see.
Well, you know what you need? You need a Dan Campbell pep talk like he gave the team afterwards. Did you see the guy puking? Did you see the guy puking in there? He gives an attaboy to a guy that's actually puking. Listen to this. There he is. Hope this is beeped. You ready?
I told you you'd never forget this game. You will never forget this game. We don't have to talk about how tough we are. We don't have to talk about how resilient we are. We live it, man. We've been living it. Where's our defense at? Offense, that's a way to step up, man. That's a way to step up. There you go, Skip. Keep throwing up, whatever you're doing up there.
Yeah. Skip's on his knees, just barfing into a bucket. There you go, Skip. You just keep throwing up, man. Just keep doing it. He's fired up.
I remember one time my dad was in my grill lighting me up for not hustling enough in a soccer game, and he had been a sprinter in his day in high school, and he said, you know, my coach had a little thing after practice. If you didn't throw up, you didn't work hard enough. And I remember it was one of the few times I ever just talked to my dad like this when I was so young, and I went, well, that was your problem. I was like, what do you want me to say? Sorry you had to go through that? Look, if throwing up is the result of hard work, I'm not working hard. Sorry. That's just not on the books. You know, I'm pretty good at this game as it is. Sorry, dude. Yeah. That's how that works.
Maybe I just drank too much OJ. I remember before football practice, like the first 1-2-a-days, when you're a kid, you know, you get whatever you can get your hands on. They brought out a bunch of orange juice. I slammed like a quart of it, and that's exactly what I barfed through my face mask onto the center's back. Yeah.
Hey, teach him to stand over the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to your top 5 at 9. What do you say? Here we go. Number 5, the biggest story of this area, hell, the biggest story around the world is, of course, Brian Thompson's shooting death Wednesday in New York City, the CEO of United Healthcare. Yesterday, photos were published all around the internet of the suspected gunman from a hostel in the Upper West Side of New York where he was staying. It's a young dude, kind of a handsome guy. There's a picture of him smiling. I mean, full face. There's no way on God's green earth somebody out there didn't look at those pictures and immediately go, oh, that's so-and-so. I mean, you know, you might not recognize him if you hadn't met him before. Like if you were in an elevator with him, he may not look familiar. But anybody that knows this guy knows exactly who he is right now. And as of right now, still not a name announced, not a name attached, and no arrest, obviously. Yeah. We'll let you know what's happening there. They do believe he took a Greyhound from Atlanta to New York about 10 days ago. So this is something that's been cooking in his bean for quite a while. Yeah. And then more information coming out about Brian Thompson himself. There were several lawsuits pending. He you know, it's tough. The guy just got gunned down on the street, and everybody's digging through his entire personal life. I don't have to share all the information that's coming out about him because it really isn't relevant. Suffice to say, it's a tough thing when you know, something like this happens, and now everybody's talking about things that he's had in his past, you know, marital difficulties, whatever it is. Everybody's now all just digging through it with a fine-tooth comb. It's an ugly story, and of course, I got to think, what is it, December 6, 2024? What are we, 6 months away from the Netflix 8-episode series about this very case? Yeah. Someone's already working on a documentary right now. I'm certain of that. And speaking of Netflix documentaries, let's take a quick left turn. The new Netflix doc about the John Benet Ramsey murder is astonishing. And boy, will it make you not like the Boulder Police Department. And for the love of God, I, like everybody else when that was going on, was like, well, the parents must have done something. They had to be a part of it. And I just want to apologize to the Ramsey family for that.
I felt like it went on for about 8 years. I don't want to relive it. I mean, whatever. I don't even really remember it. Little girl killed.
You
Tragic.
don't want to relive it because Rosemary put it on the other night and we started watching it, and I was immediately like, I'm so angry at everything involved. Yeah. It's one of those. But hey, if you're looking to get if you want a ruinous weekend, pull that one up. If you're looking for something a little more fun, as I am, I'm excited about this. Number 4 in your top 5 and 6, the movie A Complete Unknown coming out shortly. There was a surprise screening yesterday at the Main Theater, right there on Main Street. You know, like I could be there in 6 seconds. Walk out the door, bang. Timothy Chalamet starring as Bob Dylan in this film, A Complete Unknown. There was a surprise screening. Timothy Chalamet kind of blew the lid off the surprise when he posted photos of himself walking around the Minnesota campus yesterday. Timothy Chalamet is a very, very famous, very successful, bit of a heartthrob movie star. No surprise that he was immediately mobbed on campus yesterday. At the Main Theater before the showing, he sat down with some journalists. Here's a little bit of Timothy Chalamet talking about his day in the Twin Cities. He didn't have much to say. There he goes.
It was mania in Minneapolis.
We love you, Timmy! Oh, Timothy!
Crowds lining up outside of the main theater before his surprise private screening of his new Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown.
And I mean it sincerely. I loved it here, and I love Minnesota, and I find the people to be really generous and nice and generous of spirit.
I can't remember. I should say he can't remember the last time he was surrounded by people who weren't generous and generous of spirit. Everywhere he goes, people are like, Timothy, yo! Of course he loves it here. He loves it everywhere. Look at him.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're like you said, heartthrob. Doesn't he already have an Oscar, right? He won an Oscar, I believe, already as like a teenager. Yeah.
He was in that Little Women movie, which, trust me, still a great one. Love it to death. Lady Bird, Little Women, all those. That kid's great. He's got something special going for him.
Dune.
Maybe so. Nice. Didn't see it. Probably should have.
Yeah, well, I'm just big box office smash.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. According to a new survey, the average American will spend a lot of money just to get themselves out of a bad mood. We are moody shoppers. The number, $1,600 a year, buying stuff to cheer ourselves up. That's about $140 a month. I'm in a bad mood. I guess I'll go to Amazon, apparently, is what this is trying to tell me. Although, it doesn't say if booze is included in this or gummies. It's making me think this is just stuff. To which I say, how? I don't. The last thing I want to do if I'm in a bad mood is get into a worse mood by spending money. But then again, I'm like, oh, well, but if you're talking about, the old sixer here, the 12-pack there, then I guess that might add up.
Yeah, and if you're going out for the booze, wow, you're way over $1,600 a year.
Fun fact, take a month off drinking and look at your restaurant bills. Oh, man, they come down fast.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that before and went, wow, I had no idea how inexpensive food was. Not quite the same when you go out with, everything's a lot more expensive now. But, take the booze off and you feel like you're getting a deal. You want to erase inflation, trick yourself for a little bit. Yeah, just skip the booze.
Yeah, I did a little over 2 years alcohol-free 4 or 5 years ago. And good God, why did I ever start back? I can tell you why, because it's great. Man, that's a money saver for sure. Number 2, on your top 5 at 9, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. If you know anybody that is one of those 4 astrological signs, birth signs, you better just give them a wide berth because as of today, Mars is in retrograde and Taurus, Leo, Scorpios, and Aquarius are on the rampage.
Oh, boy.
I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm reading articles, though. Apparently, this is a thing. I don't pay any attention to astrology. I know that I'm a Leo. I know that it's a lion. And I know that there's some certain personality traits that I look at and go, yeah, I can see that. And then I, of course, read something else and I go, yeah, I can see that, too. So I think it's all kind of nuts. But I do know several people. I've got some good friends that really buy into this stuff. And when Mars is in retrograde, they'll tell you all about it. And I always go, okay, well, tell me if anything happens, and I just go on with my day. But apparently, this is a real deal for people who are very, very into astrology. Again, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Zepp, your birth sign is?
Capricorn. I'm clear.
You're clear. Ryder?
Oh, I'm Pisces. I'm clear, too.
Oh, man, I'm a Leo. I'm right in this. So basically,
it's you.
From now until January 6th, I am in full-blown villain mode, apparently.
Oh, wow. I'll watch my back around you.
Yeah.
This is a lot of phooey, of course, astrology. That's what I believe. But then go ahead and talk to any 911 operator or police officer about what happens when there's a full moon. 911 calls through the roof. They go seriously. You can look it up. They're the stats. They're hard. They're right there. Calls triple. Mayhem. Moon pulling on the body. How much of our body is water? Like 2/3 or something like that.
A good bit of it. Yeah.
The moon pulls on the water. I'm really reaching here, but. All right, anyway.
ER nurses will say the same thing. Like, I have some friends who have been ER nurses, and full moon, they'll say it's not, it's not a joke. It's real. Stuff gets crazy.
Yeah, all right. So might be something to it. I don't know.
Well, the fixed signs, again, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, apparently I'm now learning that fixed signs like me, we stabilize seasons and hold on tight to grudges, pride, and ideologies. Built to bury rather than integrate. I often struggle to constructively address or positively resolve conflict. What are you talking about? I resolve conflict great. I just kick people's asses.
There's the villain.
Happening. It's already happening.
Oh.
And I'm just going to say this one time, and then we're going to move on. Ryder, if you cut your eyes at me again, I swear to God, I'm coming over there, and I'm going to light you up, woman.
Leave the Pisces alone.
Man. Hey, Prescott, Wisconsin, watch out for those full moons, and we're happy to have you with us this morning.
You got to love a town that has a bar named Scabs Place.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Scabs. I was in the Scabs this summer, and they're like, how come you're always talking about the monkey bar over there? Why don't you ever mention Scabs? I'm like, you're right. Here I am, enjoying myself at Scabs. Beautiful view from the deck. And, of course, Dwight and Leslie, my friends that live over there. Good morning.
Good morning. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9. Cumulus Christmas party tonight. This is going to be great because the new survey says that more than half of us, that would be American workers across the board, have made out with a coworker at a Christmas party. And about 40% of us say they've actually had sex with a coworker at the party, to which I can say, what are we, T-minus 8 hours, right? This is going to be great. Let's go.
Yeah, start pre-gaming now.
The most common place for coworkers at office Christmas parties to hook up is out in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's safe out there, you know.
I guess so.
Where else you going to go?
Yeah, well, the conference room. That came in second place.
Yeah, I mean, if you have your Christmas parties on the job, but... Yeah, we've made a mess of some conference rooms. When I say we, I just mean the radio station in general. Yeah, they were, because we didn't have a lot of conferences at radio stations. I don't know why I'm still talking. Parking lots, bad.
I almost had an at-work fling, if you could call working at a used record store an actual job. But the whole thing was precipitated. There was upstairs in the back room of this rundown, beautiful record store. Back in the day, there was a little bathroom, just a one person at a time, a facility just for employees, not for customers. And I walked in there, and one of my coworkers had gone in and hadn't done the little, hadn't locked the door, which the lock was one of those little hooks you just put in the hole with, what do you call that?
Yeah.
The little hook thing.
The hook.
And she hadn't secured it. And so I pushed the door open, and she was sitting there, and we just had that look where it was like, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she said, oh, that's okay. And I was like, it's okay.
That's green light, buddy.
And of
green
course,
light.
And then she was like, I didn't mean it's okay, but maybe I did mean it's okay. And we had this, in about 1.5 seconds, we had an entire 30-minute psychic connection where we were weighing the pros and cons of what happens now. And then I just turned around and walked away, ultimately. And then when she came back downstairs, we're behind the counter, and then we just made eyes at each other the whole rest of the day. And I was like, this could be the beginning of something very special. And then her fiance came and picked her up, and nothing happened.
Oh, yeah.
Closest I ever got to a coworker. Honestly, I feel like I've missed a lot in this life, and it's not going to happen anytime soon. So, oh well, maybe in the next world.
Yeah, next one. Cheers.
Jeez, who else? Whatever.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.